Thank you, Mr. President. Members, the A11 amendment is actually pretty simple. It just works to reinstate the truth and taxation hearings as we know them, and the public notice that goes in advance of those hearings. Mr. President, members, I know that we're all trying to understand and to, in fact, move forward with some level of reforms to save money, but I guess on this one I would ask why this one? Why do we actually further want to remove our citizens from our government? Why do we want to tell our citizens in a certain fashion that what they think doesn't matter? I think that's not the kind of road that we want to go down. I think we're at a time in history when we need our people, in fact, to be more involved in their government and pay a little bit more attention to it. And I think truth and taxation is one of those times. It's that precious moment every year. And Mr. President, I served on a city council for 11 years. It was that moment when we invited our citizens in to let them know and to let them, in fact, comment on the budget of our particular unit of government. I think that's an important feature of government, and I think that we ought not get rid of that. So, Mr. President and members, this is about maintaining as we have it a truth and taxation hearing schedule, a truth and taxation hearing program, and the advance notice of that goes to all the citizens within a community, telling them about the hearing, what's going to happen, where it's going to be, and what their opportunities are to comment. I think it's a precious piece of citizenship. It's a precious piece of civic involvement that we shouldn't get rid of. I'd urge support for this vote. With a roll call, please.
First of all, the amendment is not yet on the system because it just has recently come up, so we'll have to wait a minute or two for it's there. Roll call has been requested. Are there 3 hands for a roll call? Seeing 3 hands, there will be a roll call vote. Senator Bach.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Senjem, some of the counties indicated they were still going to do truth and taxation meetings, and I think a lot of local units of government probably will continue to do a standalone truth and taxation meeting. This doesn't prevent them from doing that. It just relieves them from the state mandate that they have to hold a special called meeting on a special date at a special place and time. The law will read, if this were to pass into law, that really it's a substitute for the standalone truth and taxation meeting. The notice will say that it will indicate the time and place of the meeting where the budget's going to be considered. There will be a time for the public to testify. Specifically says that in the language, the amended language that's in the bill. Members, I don't think this is a huge request to help accommodate our local units of government. There are hundreds and hundreds of special called meetings every year that have a real cost to them. Not only all the publication requirements, but the staff time and holding these meetings in the evening add a tremendous additional burden on local units of government. And if local units of government want to continue to hold those special called meetings, they certainly can if they want to. But all this language really does is tell them you can discuss your budget and your property tax impacts and provide an opportunity for the public to testify at a regularly scheduled meeting as a special order of business. Senator Senjem, I just don't think your amendment is necessary. I think the language in the bill will continue to allow the taxpayer to be adequately informed, give their opportunity to come and participate in the process. So, members, I would appreciate a no vote on the Senjem amendment.
Senator Ortman.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the case of the Carver County Board and most county boards in the state, that would be 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And I don't know where you are at 9 o'clock on Tuesday mornings, but most of the world is at work. The kids are at school. Everybody has obligations, and so that's why we have them at a separately noticed meeting so that folks can attend. And the fact that it is special, meaning it's designated as one particular evening, is also very important, because to weigh in on county board business and perhaps even city council business, you have to be at the right meeting. Oftentimes items get placed on an agenda on several different occasions. And so it's hard to know for an ordinary layperson when they should appear before the county board. And if they miss the first 5 minutes, maybe they've missed the opportunity to comment. It gets very confusing. And so I think it is incumbent upon us. It is our responsibility as members of the government to make sure that it is always accessible and never not accessible, never confusing, and make sure there's always time for public participation. It's a high duty that we have, and it's one that I think is easily fulfilled here by all of us. It's the duty we owe, and I hope members will support the Senator Senjem amendment.
Further discussion on the A11 amendment is not yet on the computers. Senator Senjem.
Mr. President, members, and again, I would just maybe reiterate just a little bit. Truth in taxation, to me, is again one of those very precious and very important moments within a local government total job, where they do invite citizens in, ask them specifically, take a look at what we've done with respect to your budget for this year, and tell us what you think. And I think that is so precious, that is so important to our democracy, to our society, to in fact the way government in fact works within our citizenry. I have great fears that taking that out of our culture, if you will, is certainly not going to advance government and our society further to the better. I think leaving this in, keeping our truth and taxation process as it is a very, very important element of our society. And please, members, let's vote for this amendment. Let's keep our truth and taxation process alive and moving forward, as it ought to be in a state and a country like ourselves that needs citizen involvement now, in fact, more than ever.
Members, although the amendment is not yet online, basically what it does is it just amends the Bach amendment to delete parts of the Bach amendment, and then would delete parts of the article that you have before you. So there's really no language to read. It's just deleting parts of the amendment. So I suspect that the discussion we've had describes what the intent is, although looking at the amendment you would not be able to see it. Is there further discussion on the A11 amendment? There was a roll call requested, so the Secretary will take the roll on the A11 amendment. Have all senators voted who desire to vote? The Secretary will close the roll. There being 23 ayes and 40 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted.